Hey, Crazy Will here today, and today we're going to be talking about Canon Vixia settings. What mine are. You want to know? Stay tuned. Hey, Crazy Will from Crazy Will's Tech Show. Today, we're going to talk about my settings on the Canon Vixia. The one we're talking about is the Canon Vixia HF R800. After making so many videos, you'd think I would know how to say it, but still a little fuzzy. Basically, what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to show you all the settings that I use to get the Canon Vixia picture, sound, everything I use to make it work. So I'm going to show you step by step all the settings that I prefer. I get a lot of questions all the time about this, so I said, you know what, let me just compile a video. A lot of this stuff is going to be a repeat. Some of it's going to be new. Some of them I go into more detail, so I'm going to leave links up above to go into more depth, because I'm going to try and move quick throughout this video to try and show you all the settings that I use with my Canon Vixia to produce my videos. So let's get started with that right now. Okay, my settings. What are my settings? Well, I reset everything back to auto. So I'm going to show you exactly what my settings are. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take a shot, do a little recording of what this looks like just in auto. So that way you guys can get a feel of why I do what I do with the settings. So here's the shot right now, live on the camera, what it looks like in auto. Okay, so we stopped that. Now we're back to the regular view of my Canon T6i looking at my Canon Vixia through a monitor, because that's the setup I have. I don't have a capture card. First setting that I always like to do, and you've probably seen it in my other videos, and there's going to be more than just this, guys, so please follow along. I go into right where my nose is, right here, the home button. We're going to click on that. Click on the home button. You see auto there. What we're going to do is click on it. It's called shooting modes. We're going to click on it, and we're going to scroll down to... I used to shoot in this, high priority, not a good idea. It just wasn't a smart move. I don't know why I picked that. But anyway, I go to cinema, you hit OK, and now it's going to ask you. Now, there are all different types of this standard. There's this, and you probably know this if you watch my other videos. I say it a lot. I like Vivid. So we do Vivid. It just makes fuller colors. There we go. I think that's a really good color. If you don't like Vivid and you want to try a different one and you're going for more of a cinematic view, you go right here in the corner. It says filter 2. We're going to click on that, and you can change your filter from there. You can go to any which one you want. Alright, the next setting that I like to do, mic settings. I know while you're looking at this, you're going to see that it's peaking. I am usually set farther back, and that's why I compensated the mic. I am a lot closer to the camera than I normally am, so that's why it looks like this. But I'm going to go ahead and show you. So we're going to click on this little box right here. Click on that, and we're going to go to mic levels. It's going to start on auto right from here, and it's going to automatically do it. I don't like auto. I think that I want to punch it a little bit more, so I go to manual. I put it at 60, and you can use these arrows down here to bring it up, bring it down. I leave it at 60. I'm usually farther enough away, and how you can tell it's peaking is it is peaking right now. You can see when I talk really loud, it goes into the red zone. I'm usually, like I said, farther back, so I don't have to worry about it peaking because I'm farther away and the mic's working harder. And this is a different mic than the StarTAC or TacStar, whatever the heck it's called, that mic that I used. You can see a video on that right here if you want to see that. But let's get out of this. That's what I usually set that at. The next thing is, I do this every time, and I talked about this in a quick tip, white balance. We're going to go to the gearbox again, which is right here. Click on that gearbox. I'm going to go to white balance and just pick the temperature that I think works the best. Auto's actually doing really good this time. I usually do keep it on auto, not unless I see it's yellow, then I usually go to this one right here. But it's, I like it like that. It keeps a little yellow tone, but the auto usually does pretty well. And the only time that I notice that I need to change this is whenever I'm doing an overhead shot and I'm going on my white counter that's over here and I'm doing a repair. That's when I notice the white balance is a little out of whack, and I just change it. Another setting that I do is, because I do more of like a vlogging kind of talking head kind of thing, is I adjust the actual lens in the camera to make it wider. And I did a video on this if you want to see it more in detail, but what we're going to do is we're going to click on this box right here. Click on that little box right there, zoom type. This is where it normally is. This is where I set it. It just gives you a little bit more real estate to work with, and I think that's a lot nicer. Another thing is file format. Again, this is just my setup and how I like to shoot. So right where my nose is again, we're gonna go right here to the house. We're gonna click in that, and there's a couple settings that I like to shoot in. So first thing we're gonna go into is video quality. I shoot at 24 megabytes per second. That's the highest you can do on this camera. You click on the eye, and like I said, I have tutorials going really into depth. I do 30 frames per second. You can pick 24 or 30. I'm gonna pick 30. Let's get out of that. Boom. That's the setting that I like to do. I like to do 30 frames per second, and that's my opinion. I just always worked in 30 frames per second, even when I was doing 3D animation. That's what I worked in. Yeah, just in case you didn't know, I did 3D animation, so that's where I learned a lot about cameras, to tell you the truth, and visual effects. But anyway, enough about me. No one gives a shit. Okay, so another setting, right where my nose is again, we're gonna go for the house. Click on the house, and let's go to other settings. Now, image stabilization. I do go back and forth with this one quite a bit. If it's on the tripod, you could turn it off. If it's not, and you're walking around with your camera, doing kind of like a gorilla pod, or you're walking with it and holding it, turn that on. And you can just click right into that, and you could do standard or off. There is a dynamic setting, but for some reason it's grayed out. LCD brightness, I keep right in the middle, which I have a video on that as well. You guys can check that out. Sometimes I mirror my image, especially when I'm doing certain videos, but I usually keep it off. Headphones. If you're not using headphones, don't play with this, but I use headphones just to check my audio. You got AV, and then you got headphones. AV is for that headphone jack to put out video and audio. That headphone jack does two things. It does either the audio and video out through component cables, which the cable came with your camera, or you could do headphones. You need to switch which one you want to use it for. So this is a really good tip for this video, period. If you want to use your headphones, click on that. I use my headphones, so that's my setting. If you're gonna use AV, that's for audio and video out. It's the component cables, it's to hook it to your TV. I very rarely use it, so we're gonna get out of that. And then the next thing I look at is the volume. Volume, and I'll show you, I keep it at 8. You can raise it and lower it by clicking on one of these. See, I keep it at 8. It's a good kind of middle ground for me. Okay, so basically that's all my settings for a talking head on a Canon Vixia. I mean, I just wanted to go through everything that I set up. I didn't just learn this in a day. This took me over a year. I'm working on this camera almost a year and a half, playing with settings, playing with different things, and trying to get those professional things out of this camera that I knew it could do. I just had to figure it out. What I'm gonna do before I end this is I want to take another shot. Right now, I'm going to be taking a video of me, and I'm going to show it up on the screen right now, showing you with my settings what it looks like. And you know what? While we're here, let's just slide this over right now, and we can see both of them in comparison. So that way we could see them side by side and see which one looks better. Alright guys, that's how you do it. That's how you set your camera with the Canon Vixia HF R800, and I'm sure it goes through all the Canon Vixia line. So if you don't have that one, you can use these settings. I hope this helped you guys. Like I said before, I did not learn all this stuff in one day. It was a lot of trial and error making these videos, and I'm sure you've seen the difference in quality from my beginning videos till now. The more you use your camera, the better you're gonna get at it. So don't be afraid of it. Shoot some stuff, play with it. I did a lot of things where I just sat here, recorded, like just the microphone. I would change a setting. How does this sound? Change another setting. How does this sound? You know, do a recording and then upload it to my computer and watch it and figure out which ones sound the best. So this is just not me saying, hey, these are the settings I use. These are me really trying to zero in what I want to get the look like. Now, this look might not be good for you guys. You might not like this look. You might want a different look. Play with it. Get into setting it up on a tripod, change a setting, shoot it, you know, change another setting, shoot it, and then look at all the video afterwards and just make sure when you're shooting it that you say which one you're using. Like, you know, when I found that Vivid was the way I wanted to go, I said, okay, this is a shot on Vivid. This is what I look like on Vivid. And then I'd also do the mic while I was doing that too. And that's how I fine-tuned what I wanted to do, because you may have a different mic. Just because my mic settings at 60 doesn't mean that yours needs to be. It might be a different setting. And now with this new camera, I'm going through this all over again. And I would almost like to get into manual mode, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of of a little afraid to get into that mode, so it's just, you know, when you're shooting these videos, I'm trying to get my point across, and sometimes I ramble, and, you know, I don't want also when I'm editing for it to look funny. So far I've been going auto on my other camera, but we'll get into a video on that soon. So I hope this helped you. Make sure you like and subscribe if it did. And remember, you can do anything, and I mean anything, if you put your mind to it. Later, guys! Okay, we're back with the mic actually having a battery that works. That's the only thing that's bad about external mics, is sometimes you leave the batteries in and you leave it on and you kill it. I know what you're thinking. Crazy Will's Tech Show's over. What do I do now? Real simple, guys. You hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button, and then you check out my other videos. It's not over. I made a lot. Get a good year.